Hey, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, guys.
Sorry, I have the giggles. It could be a mindset Monday or a motivational Monday, but for us, it's a Monday rundown or the day before Janelle's birthday, which is why I have
There
the
we
giggles.
go. Happy pre-birthday. We'll call it that way this time.
Thank you. So we're really excited that you're with us today. If you normally catch us on our Wednesdays, you're in for a treat because on Mondays we get to talk about all the things that Winston and I don't get to talk about on our
Love that.
Wednesday
Love
shows.
that.
And so people have been bringing really great ideas to us, really good questions. Then we look to other content creators, other thought leaders, and about the topics. That way we can all learn together. So I'm really excited to learn along with you guys today.
Yeah,
And
I've definitely been having fun. So today's topic, guys.
can we recognize and respond to signs of mental depletion? Hmm. Great question.
Because I know recently you were talking, I know we were on one of our episodes and you shared how you stepped away from your job and it was some of the mental depletion was going on for you. So do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. Yes. So there was a lot of
Or
it's
emotional as
called
well. I know that's
invisible labor that was taking place that I was participating in. And I'll just, for those of you who don't know, in the academic world, so I was essentially a professor. Um, in the academic world, there's a term called invisible labor by those people of color who are in academia because we just have to do more than what our white colleagues would do in terms of emotional load with working with other students who are dealing with all sorts of things while they are students of color in our programs and the mentorship that's involved in that. And these are all these things that we people come to us and talk to us about different things that they're not talking to our white colleagues about. And so we do it. We love to do it. We find it fulfilling, but there's no monetary compensation for that. And I do believe that our white colleagues would probably find a way to uh, figure out a way to monetize that so that way they could say to their superiors, well, you know, I should be getting paid more for X, Y, and Z. And so that labor was definitely energy and emotionally taxing. And so
Mhm.
I can tell you, fast forward, stepping away from that position, I have been feeling much lighter and looking back, recognizing that, man, I was dealing with a lot and handling a lot. And this is, I'm so glad I made the decision that I did. This is definitely something a lot more enjoyable that I get to do the things that I'm really passionate about and put my energy towards that. So um,
Nice, nice.
yeah, I think it's really important. Uh, Again, we talk about awareness all the time. I know for me, thank God we do these shows because I've talked and listened to other. We've talked about what are some of the signs. We've listened to other experts talk about some signs to be aware of. And the reason why I knew I'd gotten to a place of depletion is because my sleep was completely disrupted, could not really sleep. And normally I have no problems going to sleep. Now all of a sudden I was having problems going to sleep. I was having problems staying asleep. It was hard for me to focus on anything. Um,
Wow.
and I was feeling even more particularly scattered than I normally do. And so I was like, "Ooh, wait, I'm like having some of the symptoms that I've talked about, right?" And so there was an
Yeah, yeah,
awareness
yeah, yeah.
that thankfully that I had, then I think a past Janelle would have just let go, like, oh, this is just a thing. This is not, you know, I'll get over it. But um, if you feel like you have had any of the symptoms I've just described, like pay attention to that. That's your body is responding to some things, even if your mind hasn't caught up to tell you
Just yeah,
exactly.
that's a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah, what you said towards, and thank you for sharing. What you said towards the end about the scatteredness. For me, I think the recognition comes there. If it's something, there's just some tasks that I feel like you can kind of almost do with your eyes closed, and when
Mm,
simple things like that start to feel maybe challenging, or I like your word scattered, just something that normally would go kind of easy. I'm finding myself having to maybe put more effort to focus in. I
mhm.
then usually can find that, oh, I'm maybe past a point of maybe needing. I don't always want to say it's rest, because there are times where it's not a physical, like I'm tired, but it's almost like I'm trying to think and focus on too many different things at a certain point. And I know when that happens, it's easier for me just to take a second. And I like your word. There's something about doing things now where if it's out of a sense of I have to do this, and I know they're the things we must do. And I also am very conscious of making sure I'm in a good state of mind before doing it. Because there is something about kind of plowing through work, and then I recognize for myself, I definitely hold, like, there's a quality of work that I think we like to put forth personally. And I know that when I'm just kind of going through the motions of doing something, I can, yeah, maybe appease someone else because something was due. And I know that that doesn't help me feel good about myself. And it doesn't, I don't think best represents, especially like, again, a lot of what we're moving into, I think is going to be about putting out good work to represent us as a brand and things like that. And so in that sense, I feel like almost like how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you are finding maybe even your quality of work is suffering, it could be not a thing about you, but or not something about your work. It could be that mental depletion is affecting your quality of work. And I
Yeah.
know it happened for me as well. Like literally, I have clients, and I just remembered I'm sitting in front of them, and I couldn't even tell you what they did that day for the workout. It's just like my mind was just not there. You know what I mean? Exactly. And so I definitely can say, like, you reckon. And if you're, again, if someone who cares about what you're doing, if you're putting effort in front of you're putting something out to people, I think it matters that you self-regulate and go, hey, I don't feel like my best self today. And it's okay. And that's okay. Right.
Yeah.
Or do like Janelle did, and hey, this is affecting me in a outside of my workplace kind of a thing. I think I should probably step away from this because it's only money, people,
Yeah.
you know? So I know it's not just us. So who do we have for today?
We are listening to the School of Life. You guys know that we are fans of the School of Life. Guys,
Big fans.
creators of the
Big
School of
fans.
Life, if you ever watch this video, just know that we are really appreciative of the things that you guys put together. It's really helpful.
Say that. Say that.
All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
There's a most basic fact about a child. It never knows when it's tired. It just grows convinced that it now hates mummy, that little brother should die, that the button falling off the cardigan is a catastrophe, that its self-respect depends on being allowed to throw the bread knife out of the window sharp end first. And it's the role of the parent to notice what is being overlooked and say very gently, but with deep conviction, enough, we need to get you to bed fast. We do ourselves no such service. We pay no such heed to how our bodies work, and when our minds have ceased to do so. Imagine it's past 7 p.m. We might have had 6 hours of patchy sleep, been awake since 6:30 a.m., had 4 cups of coffee, answered 67 emails, crossed town twice, had 4 meetings, given 2 presentations, eaten 4 slices of pizza, watched 45 short viral films, read about 15 conflicts and 12 scandals, and now, unbeknownst to us, we have entered a perilous zone in which we need to exercise extraordinary care to have any chance of managing a safe landing. We need to sense how much danger we're in, the danger of seeing only the idiocies of others as opposed to the reasons they might have committed them, the danger of perceiving accidents as intentions, the danger of being drawn to wind up someone close to us to alleviate our rage at what the world in general has done to us, the danger of thinking that shouting might every now and then solve something. We're in danger of forgetting how much the day has gradually depleted our sense of perspective. We might not have done anything momentous or heroic, not have climbed a mountain or performed heart surgery, and that is some of the problem. What will kill us in the end will not be one big obvious thing, but many decades of invisible, minor aggravations and low-grade frictions. There is so much that we mustn't do. For example, talk about the need to tidy the upstairs cupboard, bring up what we might do for the holidays, ask why we no longer have any fun, pick this moment to go through the finances. We must insist to our passionate minds that our mounting anger about the chip in the wall, the missing sellotape, or the way the partner said, really, must be about something else. And this we will have to address at another time. We need to flag up to those we care about, though this doesn't read on our faces, that we have slipped into a hugely fragile state. With a mild smile, we can confess that we have, to all intents, gone a bit mad. So we need to show our love by escaping. We need to give ourselves a long bath and put ourselves in bed not much past 9. Early for an adult, but a very good time for an exhausted small bunny who's been very active since just after dawn. As kindly people have been telling us from the start, it will all seem a lot more bearable in the morning.
That was really, really good.
That was so good. Once again, the School of Life. Thank you so much.
Really wise.
I want to go right back to the very beginning of this video when it was like, this is what we do when we're little. And it's like, why don't we treat ourselves like that as we get older? And I'm listening to it. Immediately, I knew exactly what he was talking about. And I was like, oh my God, it's so true. We totally melt down as like little children. And immediately every adult in the room was like, got to put that little one to bed. Right?
You know what that is? The perception of what growing up really looks like, though.
Right. And like, we can't be put to bed. Like anymore.
Well, and I think the idea that you outgrow tantrums, but no, we literally watch adults throw tantrums. I mean, we ourselves throw tantrums, maybe not all the time, but we are conscious that we are still doing a lot of those things. You know, something he said, or that they said, this awareness around the fact that you are upset or something is wrong. And maybe not, and I don't know if they got into it, but not really being upset at yourself, but being okay and letting that kind of play itself out. And something I know that plays out for in my life is like Jeannie will text me, oh, I didn't have a great day, be ready. And it's good because then it lets me separate. This is not about me. She's already aware, oh, I am not in a good mood. I actually will purposely try and do nicer things just because it makes, again, it almost shows effort, I think, and that's nice to have someone think and do things like that. So I really like this. This is a really good video, man.
This is really good. I think we need to start creating a culture where we give ourselves permission to put ourselves to bed.
Say that. That's a good one. That's a good one. Nothing wrong, at being who we are in life and recognizing, you know what, at this time I should shut down at night. I should just,
I'm literally no good to anyone. No good to anyone.
That was something else they pointed out about, again, that's similar to what I said about her sharing, hey, I'm not in a great mood. You should be, hey, you're not going to get the best of me. But that's a part where I feel like as adults, though, we're being told, no, but you still should show up. There's still this idea of, if you're not grinding, if you're not busting your butt and not working hard. And I know a lot of that was our parents' generation, the baby boomers. They came through, an era where they did have to work hard. And it's funny, I watched a movie yesterday where they were teasing people who are using those electric scooters now. And the whole idea is like, oh, they don't stop at stoplights or stop signs. And it's this idea that this new generation takes so much for granted, not realizing that it was the work that the generation before put in. You did all of this so that you wouldn't have to have all this work.
You wouldn't have to, yeah.
It's an interesting thing to watch. And then now there's almost like a sense of regret, like, oh, but we don't get to enjoy it. And if there's any message in that kind of maybe misplaced anger, it's just that don't grind so much now that you forget to take the time to sit, stop and smell the roses. And we're entrepreneurs. We get it. And don't grind so hard, seriously, that you don't, like Janelle said, that you're losing sleep. It's not going to be fun.
And you're not going to be good.
It's not going to be fun. Exactly. So this is really good. I really appreciate this.
All right, everyone, make sure to go ahead and put your comments in the chat. We want to hear if this was helpful for you. Are you putting yourself to bed? Any birthday wishes, I'm going to say preemptively, thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. And we will see you next week. But until then, as always, remember, you deserve the good life. Say that.
We'll see you guys. Peace.